Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 83 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. That thing's going to fall, but that's fine. What? That thing right there.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. You know we've got these crazy high production values here.
This will be our last one using that after you win Powerball tonight.
Yep.
Tomorrow? Nope, tonight.
I hope it's tonight.
We will have already won it.
By the time
By
you're
the time
watching
you guys
this,
are
and all of a
watching
sudden,
this,
if
so-
there's like a million Let's Plays this week or something, then you'll know. I want actually.
Do we need to come clean in Tennessee?
Nope. So I was going to say, maybe we'll just
So-
go as we do.
Maybe you'll figure it out. Maybe you won't.
It's Saturday. We're recording this earlier than we typically do because tomorrow night is Game of Thrones for this guy and the WWE pay-per-view and 99.99999% chance I have to go to work on Monday. So I have to get mentally prepared for that. So we're recording Saturday night. If anything else breaks at Comic-Con, there's been no video game stuff today at Comic-Con. There has been something I want to talk
There's
about.
been some good stuff.
But before we get to that, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Have some somber news. We'll go ahead and address that in the beginning so we can get to happier times. As you probably all know by now, one Chester Bennington of Linkin Park passed away. Very, very sad. This hit me hard.
I was going to say, these were your dudes for a period of time that I can remember.
So, like, I'm trying to think of another. Obviously, Michael Jackson, big deal. Prince, big deal. Chris Cornell, less of a big deal, but probably meant a lot to a lot of people. I never really got too big into Soundgarden and them, but it's still like he was just at Memphis in May, like a week before he died or so. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Linkin Park was. They were probably. I'm trying to think of the timing. I apologize in advance because I know it's not cool anymore. But between them and Creed, I missed out when My Own Prison came out. I listened to that after the fact. But when Human Clay came out, I don't know which came out first, but whichever of those two first came out, that was the first time I felt like I was like, hey, I finally have a favorite band now.
Creed was awesome. Don't apologize for that. They were freaking awesome.
No, I know, but they're like.
I know
to
now
most people, they're
act-
like Nickelback territory.
They're not Nickelback. That's
No,
what
I know,
pisses me
but-
off. But people treat them like
I
that.
know.
It's ridiculous. Just because Scott Stapp went a little crazy and stuff and whatever.
Right.
But Creed was awesome. Those first two albums were amazing.
So I
Especially
don't-
the first.
I don't remember like the timing and all that, but whenever those two albums came out, those two bands, whatever happened first, they were the first band that I finally felt like, hey, this is my favorite band. I can finally claim this. Also, between Hybrid Theory and Human Clay, again, I don't know which came first. I probably should have looked it up.
I think Human Clay must have. Human Clay was 99.
Was it? Okay. So yeah,
My Own
Hybrid Theory
Prison was
2000.
97. This was 99. But I don't think Higher came out till like 2000. I think I was in college because I can remember listening to it with Chris Waite in his truck and stuff.
Really?
So I don't think it came out till either late 99, Higher came out, or it was 2000. But continue.
This is one of the first albums I bought that I finally felt like, hey, I got this right. I went through a long period of time of getting like, I'm trying to think, like the Men in Black soundtrack and the Brian, not even the right one, but a Brian Setzer Orchestra CD for Christmas that didn't even have Jump, Jive, and Wail on it. And Tub Thumping. Who sang that? Chumbawamba.
I get knocked out. Yeah.
Chumbawamba. I got a lot of CDs.
There
based
were a
on
lot of one-hit
song,
wonders based in the 90s.
and I just kept getting bad album after bad album after bad album. This was one of the first albums that young teenage Sean bought, and finally I was like,
I didn't
nailed
screw
it.
up.
This is awesome. And plus, you know, I mean, this was 2000. I think it was late 2000. So I was 11th grade. I graduated in 02, so I started senior year in 01, so I started junior year in 2000. Yeah, so I was a junior in high school. It was around this time I feel like I was, I mean, a lot of you nerdy people out there can probably relate. I'm not going to get too deep and emotional here, but I felt like I was just like, who am I? Like, what is my... You know, the whole thing where you just feel like you don't belong. You feel like you don't have, like, an identity or whatever it is. And then this album came out, and it's like, this CD is awesome. These guys rock. And I remember I met a lot of people that year based on... We'll get to that later. Based on our mutual love of this band. I'm telling you this because ever since he passed away, I've been reading a lot of, like... people on Twitter giving their like personal stories on Linkin Park and whatnot. So that's my story. They were kind of the first band that I really feel like I connected to, and I connected with a lot of people at school because of it. I remember, not that this was pre-internet, but it was pre-internet as we know it today, pre like social media and stuff. I remember. Maybe I didn't even hear it on the internet because the internet sucked back then. But I remember One Step Closer was awesome.
Yes.
Crawling was awesome. But I always loved In the End. Mm-hmm. And then when I heard that was going to be their next single, I remember watching stupid freaking MTV. Yes. Every single day back when they still played music videos, waiting for this video to come on because I knew it was coming and whatever. And I'm like, eventually I'm just going to be watching all these music videos and it'll be the next one that comes on. And then there would be times where some new video would pop on. I'm like, hey, this doesn't look familiar. Holy crap, is this going to be it? This looks awesome. And nope, that's not it. And it just kept happening. In my mind, this seems like it went on for weeks. It was probably just like a few days before finally they made an announcement, probably on TRL or something, where it was like, hey, we're going to debut their new In the End video this date, this time, whatever. And I was like, okay. But I remember staying up real late just watching MTV, just waiting to see this music video because I'm like, this song is, at the time, it was probably my favorite song off the album. It just seemed like one of those epic songs. I'm like, this is going to be an awesome music video. And I remember just like waiting up like night after night after night for them to play it. Then in 2003, I believe, I was a freshman in high school. I went
college.
Yeah, that's the one. College. I'm not that young.
No, you're not.
Went to Virginia Beach with a few buddies of mine, Brent, who I talk about a lot, and
friend of the show.
Eric and Tony.
Batista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Batista, Eric Larson. We drove down to Virginia Beach, and it was like we were driving down there, I think the day Meteora came out, or maybe at least the week of. And I think we picked it up. Somebody bought it, or maybe multiple people bought it that day, and we like listened to it for the first time in the car on this trip. And I remember being very nervous. I'm like, oh, even at that point, I was wise enough to know the whole sophomore slump thing. I'm like, God, I hope this is good. I hope they don't screw it up. Absolutely loved it.
Which one was Meteora? What were the songs off that? Was that Numb?
That was Numb and Somewhere I Belong.
Okay.
And Faint and
a
bunch of them.
Yeah.
No, it was a fantastic
awesome.
album. A little bit more just rock and less of
Yeah.
that like electronic, rock, rap,
Was there
fusion
not as
thing.
much Fort Minor on that one?
Like rapping and
Yeah.
stuff? It was actually, yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
And I can't
there was
remember
definitely
when
some, but maybe
he went
less.
solo too for like one album, but I don't remember when he did that.
Well, I mean, it was Fort Minor. It was never solo. That was like his side project thing.
Oh, his name's not Fort Minor?
His name is Mike Shinoda.
Okay.
But no,
Mike Shinoda.
Fort Minor was his like side project or whatever. I think that was between Meteora. No, that was probably after Minutes to Midnight. I can't remember if it was before or after that one. But
Oh my God, Minutes to Midnight had that one freaking. Oh God. Keep going. There was a song on there that just like it hit me at the right time, and now I can't remember what it was.
Was it? Oh God, what's the one?
Keep going. I'll find it.
No, I'm gonna tell you. It's Leave Out All the Rest.
Shadow of the Day.
Oh, Shadow of the Day. Leave out all the rest. So yesterday, I think, or maybe what's today? Saturday. So yeah, yesterday I was, after he died and everything, I'm like, I need to go back and listen to some Linkin Park
too. But Shadow of the Day just hit me.
Well, when I was listening to Leave Out All the Rest yesterday, it's one of those things where I'm sure a lot of people are going back and listening to more Linkin Park now because he just died and stuff. And then when you listen to all these songs, they're going to start having, more meaning and whatnot. But when you look at, I'm talking really slowly to give myself time to go ahead and be able to...
Are we going to get a copyright strike?
Pull up... No, I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to say some lyrics from it when I...
Remember how bad it went during the Christmas episode when you kept trying to play stuff and you're like, that stupid phone won't play it on speaker.
Up. But so, I mean, who knows what he was thinking when he wrote this, but like... When my time comes, forget the wrong that I've done. Help me leave behind some reasons to be missed. Don't resent me when you're feeling empty. Keep me in your memory. Leave out all the rest. I was like listening to this Friday, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I loved this song before, but it never really hit me this way until, obviously now you
Well, and then it's like, too, the, what's the guy's name? Velvet Revolver, Stone Temple, guy that died, guy that also killed himself.
Chris Cornell?
No. Stone Temple Pilots.
Who? That guy killed himself?
Yeah. What was his name?
Recently?
A couple years ago. Velvet Revolver lead singer did.
Oh, God. What was his name?
I'll know it as soon as I hear it, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, that guy.
But I went back to that song, Fall to Pieces, which I loved. It was the only Velvet Revolver song I really listened to. And I thought Velvet Revolver was going to be the biggest thing ever because it was him and it was Slash and it was just like this all-star band. But then you go back and listen to Fall to Pieces, and I'm like, oh, God, this is just so... But you hear these songs, and you're just like, I'm just singing along because I know the words, and I love you guys. But you're not thinking, like, exactly, why are they writing this? What? And if they are writing it, they don't all write, but if they're writing it, what mindset are you in? Do you need to talk? Like, so many people are committing suicide, these rockers and stuff. And I know he had drug issues and stuff, and I think he hanged himself is what... Yeah. And I don't know, and somebody said he was all bummed out after Cornell and everything.
Well, apparently they were like super close, and the day he died was Cornell's birthday. So it's like, but
he's got
obviously I don't want to jump to
kids.
Conclusions, but yeah, you can't help but put the pieces together, and it seems like
6 kids from 2 marriages. There's just you can't. Yeah. How old was he? Just a little bit older
41,
than us?
41, I think.
He was in his 40s?
41. Early 40s. 40 or 41. But yeah, I mean, that hit me. As far as obviously people that we don't know that have died that have hit me hard, maybe this is right behind, like
Scott
Owen
Weiland.
Hart. Scott Weiland, yeah.
Continue.
As far as people that we don't know personally that have died, this probably hit me harder than anybody besides maybe like Owen Hart.
Owen crushed me. I was like, I remember, I don't know if we didn't watch that pay-per-view, but I don't know if, I think we were like on like I knew it was happening. This, obviously there was no Twitter, but I knew something was happening as it happened. So I don't know if I was on Prodigy message boards or whatever. It was May 99, month before I graduated. Yep. And I remember like it happened, and I can remember then.
I remember Brent was watching it.
Really?
I mean, illegally. Sorry, Brent.
Well, yeah.
I don't even remember how people did that, but it was like a big thing.
It's just a different. We did it in college. There's a clip up on you just take the clip off and everything comes through. Up on like the wires up top.
But I remember he was watching it and he called me and like said, "Man, Owen Hart just like fell or whatever." And I remember just being like, "Wow, that's crazy. That sucks." And then he called me back later. It's like, they just said Owen Hart died, and I was like.
But they're going to go ahead and do Stone Cold versus Undertaker for the title. Like, but they didn't tell the crowd. That's what was so. But everybody was still just like, "What is happening?" Like, but then you hear live reports like as Owen was falling, he apparently told people, "Get out of the way! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!" And then when he fell, his head hit the turnbuckle and just. They said when they got in the ring to see him, he was already blue. He was gone. But like Owen hit me the hardest. Eddie really messed me up. Chris Benoit for so many reasons from those 24 hours from. He's not at the ECW pay-per-view. That's weird. Monday night, we're airing this whole show for him. He's dead. His whole family's dead. Oh my God. This was like my favorite wrestler. Tuesday we're never mentioning Chris Benoit again. He doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Don't take steroids. My God. Like, it is so, it's horrible. I don't know how, just famous people. But yeah, Prince was like, when Prince died, I was like, oh, damn, it's Prince.
Right.
But like, if Dave Matthews were to commit suicide, I'd be like, I need a day off from work. Like, this is horrible. That's my dude. Or like John Mayer went through so much stuff. I worried about him for a time when he was going through it. When he had his interview with Playboy, when he said those horrible things, and then he had his throat stuff, and he was super depressed over that. Didn't think he was ever going to be able to sing again, but he got through it, and he's a lot better person now. But those two would just absolutely wreck me.
Yeah. But yeah, very, very sad. It really hit me hard. But on to more uplifting, happy music-related news. I saw, who to this day I would say is probably still overall my favorite band, Newfound Glory. Older stuff, so much better. I dig some of their newer stuff, but it's just not the same. But
it's hit or miss.
Looking at the whole like catalog of their music, I would probably still consider them my favorite band. So I saw that on Twitter they were coming to Nashville, and I'm like, this is a few weeks ago, and I was like,
oh, this all happened that quickly?
Yeah. I was like, I haven't seen these guys in a while. I'm like, what the heck? I want to see them. I wonder how much rooms are in Nashville and whatever. And they weren't too bad. And I was like, I wonder if Brittany will be in for this. Let me go ahead and figure out how much they are. So I looked at hotels and I went to go look at tickets. And then I saw night before Nashville, Memphis. I was like, well holy crap. Go. So didn't go to Nashville, went to Memphis. For any of you local people, is at High Tone Cafe. Never been there before.
Where is it again? Because I can't even remember.
It's on Cleveland Street.
Ooh. Okay. Don't try to give me directions.
North of Union. So Cleveland crosses Union. You go north of Union, and it's like it's there. Not much to look at. Online, they'll call it a cocktail bar.
Meaning they serve cocktails.
Yeah.
So technically.
So it was tiny. I was one of the first, I don't know, maybe 20 people in the door or whatever. So I had a nice spot. I was like one person away from the stage. I'm like, I got this. I'm going to be at the stage later on. That was easy. As soon as Newfound Glory came on and everybody started like pushing, I just went, whoop, just kind of slipped between the two people and I'm at the stage. So that was cool. I'm getting very old. So we're recording this Saturday evening. This was 3 nights ago that I was at this concert. I hurt. Yesterday, I was aching like head to toe. Like I felt like I got a whole body workout. Like everything kind of hurt. Today, it's mostly just my calf, and my calf still hurt. Like I'm limping.
The one you were pressed up against you were bracing on the stage?
Yeah, that one, but it's like my calf. So the front of my like shin, I have like a bruise from where I was just getting knocked against the stage. But then my calf muscle hurts and it's like super tight. When I was like trying to go upstairs in my house, I'm like, oh God, like I had to like pull myself up with the handrails.
You needed the chair that goes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I need. But it was so much fun. I loved it. It was like $22 for the ticket. There's a $75 VIP ticket. They got you a bunch of like merch and like a meet and greet with them. And I was like this close to doing it, and I decided against it. But it was fine. It was actually a pretty cool venue. Not the greatest part of town. I mean, I never like felt unsafe or anything, but it was just kind of it's a small venue, but that's where I want to see a band like this. I don't want to see them in like a big, not that they would play in like an arena, but I want to see them in a small venue.
Right.
So there's probably, I wouldn't even know how to estimate, probably 200 people there. So pretty small. They killed it. They played all of probably 2 of my 3 favorite albums of theirs. It's their 20th anniversary tour or whatever. It was awesome. It was very, very loud. My ears today finally have stopped ringing. they like stopped and took a break in like the middle of it, and like Chad, the guitarist, was like talking to the crowd or whatever, and he said something about, I don't know, he like asked the crowd something, and I was like, I'm getting too old for this, and Jordan was like right there, and he heard me, he was like, he gave me a fist bump. I was like, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Nice. I still say you two could have been separated at birth.
Yeah, but no, like
More
I
than
was like
Christian Bale.
I was like right there. Like, I mean, the stage was literally this high off the ground.
Yeah.
There was no like buffer between like the stage and the people, no barricade. Like my foot was on the stage through the whole show, and like he was like, you know, leaning over the crowd. And it was like patting, like, oh, it's just awesome. It was so cool. That being said, I'm getting old, and I don't know. It's sad, but I feel like it's probably the last time I'll see them, or at least see them in that atmosphere. I mean, if they came back, I'd probably go again, but I wouldn't be trying to be like front row center.
I'll hang out by the bar.
Right, I'm gonna hang out in the back next time. But it was so much fun. A total blast from the past. These two albums that they were playing from came out in I think 2002 and 2004 respectively, and it's like, it feels like yesterday. Like I sang along every single word through the whole show, like they just came out recently. I don't know. It was so much fun though. I loved it. And then there's like these nice like tour buses out in the parking lot. I was like, there's their bus, and I know that was them. But then after the show, like we went out and they came off the bus, and I just happened to be right there, and I was like, hey, you know, high fives and great show. That was awesome. Whatever. They all got off the bus, jumped into like a little Toyota Corolla, and then drove off.
Like,
I'm like, well, what's the bus for? Like, what? I don't understand how any of that stuff works.
Yeah.
But I just, and they were playing in Nashville the next night, but
it's a quick drive.
I don't know. Unless they were just taking the Corolla, to like a hotel or something, and the bus goes elsewhere, and then when they actually drive to Nashville tomorrow, they jump back in the bus. I don't know, but like, they all got off the bus and jumped into a little Corolla and drove off. I was very confused, but yeah, it was eventful few days for me. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome.
What's been new with you, sir?
Today was eventful for me because finally the new Justice League trailer came out. Saturday, it's Comic-Con. To me, there hasn't been a whole lot of stuff. Hasn't been a lot of big news and stuff, but like this was the one I was waiting for. Now again, we're recording this Saturday. Friday, there had been murmurs about this for a while, but Friday, the Hollywood Reporter, which is right 90% of the time, comes out with a report saying Ben Affleck is not going to be Batman anymore. Obviously, Justice League's done, but he's going to do the Batman and then be gone or something, but that WB was working on plans to, quote, gracefully write him out of the DCEU. And I'm like, what now? What do I do? Like, this is my favorite still to this day. Favorite on-screen Batman. We saw him in Batman vs. Superman. We saw him a little bit in Suicide Squad, and he was probably the best parts of that movie, even though he was in there for like a total of a minute and a half, maybe. And then then we're going to get Justice League, and then is he not even going to do the Batman? This is heartbreaking. Now, they said today at the panel, Affleck said, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I love being Batman. I am your Batman. Crowd went nuts. Everybody that was there, I was reading, there's so much energy in the room for the WB panel, and everybody's loving it. Everybody's going crazy. But this is the same guy that went on Kimmel and said, I am directing the Batman. 2 weeks later comes out, Ben Affleck is no longer directing the Batman. He'll stay on as a producer, and he's going to star, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what to believe.
It does seem very strange that they would just write him out like that. But at the same time, no part of me, I'm not any more convinced that he's staying on because of what he said at Comic-Con.
No,
obviously, he's not going to get up there and be like, yeah, they got it right, and they're going to write me out.
Guys.
Obviously, he's going to say, no, that's not true, but,
right.
I mean, or whatever. If it makes people happy, that's fine. It may not be true.
It may not be true.
But if it is true, he's obviously not going to come out there and say, yeah, it's true. He's going to say it's not true. So
what I think it is that I think he is still shell-shocked because everybody likes to do the meme of the Sound of Silence playing when he's sitting there in the interview with Cavill, and it's just like, everybody hates this movie. I think he's still shell-shocked from the reception that Batman Superman got. But and we'll talk about it here in a minute, I have a lot of faith in Justice League. This looks really good. And he also at this panel went on talking about how great a director Matt Reeves is, how he's so excited to do Batman with him. Reeves is supposedly, he pitched a trilogy of Batman movies. That's the other thing that kickstarted all this is like, well, Affleck is 45. By the time the Batman comes out, he'll be 47 or 48. The next movie, he'll be 50. How long can you do this? I mean, Harrison Ford was just Han Solo at 75. That's not a Batman role,
right?
But the good shape, the shape that Ben is in, he can be Batman for another 6-7 years. That guy can pull it off. And you could do so many things with stunt doubles and everything. Like, you just... I hope it's not true. I hope he is staying as Batman. There's... what I don't want is to be like, oh, he's going to die in The Batman, and then Dick Grayson takes over as Batman. No. Batman to me, and I don't want Flashpoint. I don't want Batman Beyond. I don't want any of that. I've never really gotten into those things. Batman to me is Bruce Wayne, period. And that's what I want to see. Yeah. I would rather them just say, we've recast him. Just pull a Val Kilmer, but with a much better movie, and just say, well, now this is him. Or they could even make a joke about, man, you lost weight or something. You look different, Bruce. Something, and then just move on from it. If he doesn't want to be Batman, as much as I love him in that role, he shouldn't be Batman. Like, do you know how there would be actors literally lining up to play Batman?
Right. I mean, obviously everybody loves Batman, but like you just touched on, it's more we love Batman, but really we love Bruce Wayne. Batman, unlike anybody else, if there's a Spider-Man movie and all of a sudden you say, okay, now it's going to be Miles Morales, I'm like, cool. I like it.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't want to see a non-Bruce Wayne Batman.
No. I don't want to.
Now, what you said, I don't know enough about it, but one of the possibilities about the box, whatever.
Somebody said.
I mean, that I'd be okay with because now you're still Bruce Wayne.
So, but that's so now they have built in with having the Flash there and with having these boom tubes with the mother boxes, boom boxes. They've built in and out to where you can basically retcon anything. You can go back in time. You can do all this other stuff. What somebody said, I think it might have been John Campea or somebody said, I mean, hell, I don't know if they're just going to have Batman get sucked into a boom tube when he comes back. When he gets out of it, he comes back as his younger self or something. I was like, oh, well, that would actually be kind of cheesy, but it would work, I guess. Bottom line, I just want it to be Affleck so bad. I want him to stay. I want him to want to be Batman. So I don't know, and we're not going to know anything anytime soon. They're just now doing the script. One of the other things, too, I hate that they threw out his script, but obviously if Reeves is coming in and he wants to do a trilogy, he's going to write his own Batman movie. I like what they're talking, detective style, noir, all this other stuff. I still wish I wish we, at some time, I hope that Affleck script comes out. I just want to know what it was going to be. Yeah. Like, because I bet Deathstroke isn't even going to be in this now. And that sucks. After that test footage just of him in a crappy costume and he's coming, I was like, and Manganiello is Deathstroke. Are you kidding me? Imagine the fights between those two with a choreographer. Like, say what you want about Snyder. The fight scenes are awesome. That Batman saving Martha scene is the best live action Batman footage we have ever had across however many movies he's been in, from 66 all the way up until Justice League. You have never, was Batman come to life. Imagine that, but it's him one-on-one with Deathstroke for like 10 minutes at the end of a movie. I mean, I would just be like, I probably wouldn't breathe the whole time. I'd be grinning so much. All that being said, the trailer came out. Obviously, you all know me. I'm the big Batman homer, DC homer, fanboy, all that other stuff. Sean, what did you think of the Justice League trailer?
I thought it looks good. I think it's the right... I mean, it's tough to take too much from a trailer, but it seems like they found their stride in terms of dark and serious versus some lightheartedness, whatever. Like even the part basically right at the end when Gordon's up there talking, Flash. And then Flash's like, oh, well, that was, wow, geez, they just really, they just kind of vanished, huh?
That was rude.
And then
like, okay,
that's cool.
No, and then Flash is like, guys, you guys are prepping for battle. You guys do this all the time. All I do is I just push people and then run away.
I think Flash is going to steal
this.
this. Yeah.
And I think Aquaman is too. I think they're both.
Aquaman is he's got that like understated.
He's just so freaking cool. This is not the Aquaman that we grew up with in the comics at all. And I can't wait to see it. I still don't care anything about Cyborg, but I do think all that stuff we were hearing about, the whole story is going to revolve around Cyborg and all this stuff. No, it's not. Because when they were talking, I know I asked you what you thought about this trailer, but they're talking through the whole trailer about Superman and the void he's left and nobody's gotten over it. And you see the newspaper, the world without hope and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, I like how they're shaping this up. And then
I like it.
Keep going.
My only issue, and I've been saying it all along, and I guess I can't really complain because how else do you do it? But it's like, hey, here's a promotional photo for Justice League.
They should have never
Hey, here's
done
all
that.
of them with Superman.
They should have never done that.
And then, okay, but he's dead, but let's pretend he's not coming back. And then let's talk about him through the whole trailer. So let's make it as obvious as it can be that he's coming back without actually showing him. But let's also put the Superman logo in the poster. And it's like, just make up your mind. Like,
with only the
are you
5,
trying to
not
pretend
the
like
6?
he's actually gone? Or are you just admitting that he's going to be in it and you don't want to show him? Like, make up your mind.
Sorry, if we're sweating a lot, we're in a sauna out here.
It's hot here.
Memphis sucks right now. Keep going.
I will say I think they ended it perfectly. Obviously, that's Superman. I like that they're not showing him. I think it's a whole what do you call it? Red herring kind of thing where we're eventually going to see Superman and he's still just going to be Superman.
I don't think we're getting.
But I at least like that. Yeah, they're not showing him. So yeah, it does kind of leave that open.
I expected this trailer to bomb because the second Batman vs Superman trailer was here's Doomsday and he looks like a friggin' cave troll. And everybody's like, what? And then you show the Trinity fighting him. It's like, well, you literally, this is what we all kind of thought was going to happen. You just showed the whole movie. You literally have given the whole movie, except the very end. Spoiler alert. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I guess that's it. I got another thing, but not really Justice League related. But I don't know if we're going to do a whole segment on it, so I'm just going to say it. Why are people so shocked and elated and happy that we're getting Wonder Woman 2?
It's the best DC movie they've made since.
No, but was
Dark
this
Knight.
not obvious that we were going to get one? I mean, I know now it's official, so yay.
We all thought for sure we were going to get Man of Steel 2, and I mean, you could kind of say we did, but Batman vs. Superman was a Batman movie.
I don't know. I just can't believe it was not obvious to
I wouldn't take
everybody.
anything for granted.
I guess, but like, how is this not obvious? Especially after the way it performed, how is it not obvious we're going to get another
And it's going to be in the
Wonder Woman
80s,
movie?
supposedly, which is awesome. And it still keeps her away from the DCEU, which is what works so well for this one.
Right, yeah.
Couple things, my notes I wrote down about the trailer. Then we'll get into all the other stuff. Steppenwolf looks pretty badass. Supposedly he's pure CGI. He didn't look overly CGI. I mean, obviously when he's doing the things he's doing, it's got to be CGI, but it didn't jump out at me as looking bad, which means this is very, very far along in post-production, which makes sense, which also makes sense as to why Zach was able to step away and hand it over to Joss. Steppenwolf looks awesome. I don't know much about him. He's Darkseid's uncle. It's all going to play in to eventually we get to Darkseid, hopefully with Batfleck still part of the mix. I like when Aquaman was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all just going to die. You know, like that little bit. It's like the only humor in Batman versus Superman was she with you, she with you. That was it.
Well,
and they gave that away.
With,
plus the cape. That was actually good. That I thought worked when he's like, "I'm your son's friend." I figured the cape, and I was like, that worked. Like I actually chuckled at that. Is she with you? Is she with you? I thought she was with you. And also, if they didn't give that away in the trailer too, it wouldn't have been so bad. But it was just. So I thought they had the right about that.
But I like how they did the throwback with when Alfred said something along the lines of, you know, it's hard to believe our biggest issue used to be wind up exploding penguins or something. I was like, that's awesome.
I was like, this is
they're
this
doing
is
it.
the
It seems like they're
perfect
doing it
tone.
right.
It's the perfect tone. When Steppenwolf comes down onto Themyscira, he says something about, I can't remember what he says first, but he said there's no protectors. Then, by the way, the one thing I will say, I hope they fix his voice because it's like early Bane is what I get
can't
vibes
understand
of.
it. Yeah.
I was like,
I pretty much missed everything that he said.
He says, no protectors, no Kryptonians, no lanterns.
I was like, wait, what?
I was like, wait, what? And then he said, the world is mine for the taking, or whatever he said. And then he comes down with a big axe and he does this. But I'm like, some people also were trying to say,
maybe this lantern at the end, not Superman.
I saw comicbook.com, which is the comic book now on Twitter. They do so much clickbaity headlines, but this one was check the Green Lantern Easter eggs in the trailer, and all the only Easter egg was at the end. You can see a green light in Alfred's thing when he stands up and talks to the guy. But I'm like, you think they're going to make a big deal out of the Green Lantern showing up when they haven't even cast him and Tyrese is still campaigning to be him? That's not Green Lantern. That wouldn't be a big deal. Not only if you look very closely, because I went back and I looked in the bottom right corner, you see red. You can see red doing this ever so slightly. It's Superman. That's his cape.
Yeah.
I love it. I thought for sure, I talked about Doomsday and I never said what I was going to say. I don't know what I got off. Let me know in the comments what I went off on. I thought they were going to screw this trailer up because the Doomsday trailer. I thought for sure they were going to show Superman, like saving the day and like give everything away and all this stuff, and they didn't do it. I was very
it seems
happy
like
about
they're
that.
at least they're basically saying, okay, he's obviously going to be in it. I
And
mean,
then
if
you
it
had-
wasn't already obvious at the end of the trailer, like Superman this, Superman that. Oh, he's gone. Now there's this void, and what are we going to do? And he's dead, and he's gone, and da. Let's put a symbol in the poster. But then at least they finally just kind of owned up to it at the end. And, I mean, there's a chance it's not him, but, I mean, it's him.
It's him.
Even if that's not him, he's in this movie.
It's also interesting that I wonder, like, Alfred says, "Oh, I knew you'd come. I just hope it's not too late." Why is Alfred just chilling out, working on a car?
That
wasn't even the Batmobile. I'm like,
is he just
going
to,
Is what I
That's
do
what I'm
worry
saying.
about.
I bet when we see this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if that is not Superman. He's in this movie, but I bet that scene, he's probably not
It's just a
talking about
misdirection.
Superman. Yeah. But he's obviously in the movie.
So some kid asked a question at the panel, and he's like, "Where is Superman? I really like Superman. Where was Superman?" And Momoa's like, "Dude, spoiler alert. Did you not watch the movie? He's dead." And then Gal said, which we all know, she said, "If you're a big fan of Superman, you're going to love Justice League," is what she said. Now, the other thing that I think part of that is all this voiceovers about Superman and stuff. They're like, he inspires hope. He does all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, Superman typically does, but y'all didn't do that with this Superman. That's one of the things I said during our Wonder Woman review that I loved so much was that she felt like the Superman that we didn't get, the inspiring figure and making people have hope and all this other stuff. We never really got that from this Kal-El. I love Henry Cavill. It's not his fault. It's the writing and the way they just killed him off in 2 movies. But I thought that was interesting that I think they're trying to build Superman up to what he should have been. And maybe now when I hope when he shows up on screen that it's like I was when Wonder Woman came in and did the in Batman versus Superman. I'm just, yes, he's here, he's back, kick ass, go.
Yeah.
So, Justice League. What do you want to talk about?
Are we going to move on to the news?
Well, what have you been playing?
Well, what I was going to say before we get to that, because I wanted to throw us out there. Did you see, there wasn't much, but did you see the Stranger Things trailer?
I didn't. I'm not going to watch it.
It looks awesome.
Is
I'll
it
just-
a
I'll leave it
Demogorgon
at that.
Prime or something up in the clouds? Is it
They-
a Guardian from Horizon Zero Dawn?
They don't really, you kind of see it, but they don't really explain it. I mean, have you seen like the poster?
Yeah, I saw the
I don't know
poster
why
with
there's
a
a
big,
poster for a
big
TV.
spider thing up
They
there.
show a glimpse of that, but that's it. They don't really explain it.
I'm
but
so worried that they're going to completely screw it up.
I
The
don't-
first season was so perfect, like
I think it's going to
absolutely
be,
perfect, that I just worry that this one is not going to live up to it.
I don't know.
It's one of those things that it seems like
looks
it should
really
have just
good.
been. It should have just been one season. This is the story. We're done. But then with the way it ended, you knew they were going to do a season 2.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. I don't blame you for not watching it, but
I'm going to try not to. It's only
it doesn't
what, 2
really
more
give
months?
a whole lot away. If you've
Yeah.
seen that poster, you've pretty much seen everything
Okay.
they show in this for the most part. But okay, I don't know if you had seen that, but